Welcome to Leading Organizations That Matter, a podcast about leadership and how we find impact, meaning, and joy in our work. I'm your host, Ray Spadoni, and today's topic is when weakness looks like power and confidence becomes humility. In my book and on this podcast, I write and talk about leadership styles and organizational culture and the sometimes subtle interplay between the two. I'm fascinated by both separate but intertwined topics, especially nowadays when so many organizations and people seem to be struggling, churning, and striving for something better. Today, I'm going to touch on a fundamental, definitional even, characteristic of leadership that I have observed through the years. Apologies in advance if this seems too strong or too pointed. In a blunt nutshell, here it is. Some of the most self-assured, cocky, and forceful leaders I have known have been the most insecure. And some of the most humble, self-effacing, and unpretentious have been the strongest. My own benchmark of strength versus weakness is pointed directly towards those moments, those particular times in an organization's life cycle when it faces great challenge, maybe even existential, and highly impactful leadership is necessary. So there's a cliche expression, the best defense is a good offense. I think that's a reasonable foundation for this premise. Insecure leaders can attempt to hide their uncertainty, which could be a manifestation of imposter syndrome. Maybe that's a topic for another episode. They can hide it with bluster, brashness, overconfidence. But stronger leaders don't need to play such games. They're going to be more comfortable pointing out what they don't know or what they're unsure of, and they will relate to others as equals, not according to traditional or earned hierarchical rules. In my experience, many in the organization will pick up on this, and then positive cultural characteristics will emanate from the humble leader's style. These characteristics include trust, respect, and transparency. When leaders are playing offense as a defense, these types of organizational characteristics are much harder to foster. This all came to mind recently when a friend of mine told me about his retirement. In his career, he was an incredibly successful academic, publishing many important works, always contributing to his field in ways that were much recognized across the country and internationally, and scoring perennially high marks from his students. Everywhere he went, it seems, his accomplishments were well affirmed. Now, just 2 years into his retirement, I asked him how things were going, and he said, quote, "I went back to the university last week. There are a lot of new people there who've never heard of me. The people who do know me are all doing just fine there without me." It's interesting to think about your own life's work and how, after all is said and done, it really doesn't amount to as much as you think it does when you're in the thick of it. End quote. I loved that. So much so that I immediately wrote it down right after he said it. This man is one of the most successful, strong, and accomplished people I know. He's also one of the most humble. I think one of the main reasons for his career and life success is how he relates to people. And I think that largely springs up from his humility. So the lesson to all current or aspiring leaders out there, lean into humility. That doesn't make you weak. Au contraire. Thanks for listening. Leaving a positive review and letting others know about this podcast will help a great deal. My mission is to help empower organizations that matter by supporting those who lead them. I offer coaching, mentoring, and consulting services. You can learn more about me and my work at rayspadoni.com.